I'm going to show you how to make one of these lovely envelope cushion covers. I made mine out of an old curtain sample, but you can make it from any fabric you like. So let's get started. First, we need to measure our cushion pillow, and mine is 16 inches by 16 inches or 40 centimetres by 40 centimetres. As the cushion actually measures 16 by 16 inches, I'm making the front, or I'm cutting the front out 17 inches by 17 inches, and the back two pieces are 17 inches by 12.5. I came to that measurement by dividing the 17 inches by 2, which gives you 8.5, and then I add 4 inches on either side for the overlap, so that gives us the 12.5 inches. Here you can see the measurements in inches and centimetres for the front and the two back pieces. Take the two back pieces over to the ironing board, and with the wrong side facing you, turn under 1/4 inch on one of the long sides. So one of the 17-inch sides you want to press under 1/4 inch with your iron, and then you need to turn this seam over again, so another 1/4 inch, and again press it with your hot iron all the way to the end. Now you need to either clip or pin your seam down, ready for sewing. I'm using clips, but you can use pins if you prefer. Do the same with both back pieces. Take both your back pieces over to the sewing machine, and on the wrong side where you've just turned the hem up, stitch close to the edge of the seam, remembering to back tack at the start and the finish of each seam, taking the pins out as you go along, or the clips, whichever you've used. Lay the front piece of fabric out with the right side facing up. Then we're going to place both of the back pieces with right sides facing down on top of the front piece, with the raw edges to the outside and the seams we've just made going down the centre. The two pieces, or the two back pieces, do overlap each other. That's exactly how it should be. Make sure the sides and the bottoms are all matched. Next, either pin or clip all the way round all 4 sides, clipping both pieces of fabric together, and in the centre there you should have 3 pieces of fabric where the 2 sides overlap, but clip it all the way round, ready for sewing. Now take to the sewing machine and sew a 1.3 centimetre or 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around the cushion cover. When you get to the corners, leave the needle down, lift the foot and turn at 90 degrees, and then carry on sewing so that our seams don't come undone. The next job is to clip the corners, so we're just going to cut a little triangle off each of the corners as close to the seam corner as we can get, but make sure that you don't cut through the stitching, otherwise it will come undone. Next you're going to set your machine stitch to a zigzag, so on mine I choose C on the stitch selector, and then I move down to the stitch length, and I'm going to choose about 1.5 and 5 for the stitch width. Now with my machine set for a zigzag stitch, I'm going to stitch on all 4 sides of the cushion cover close to my original seam in order to stop it from fraying. If you want to, you could use pinking shears and cut all the way round with pinking shears, but my fabric does fray quite a lot, so I'm zigzagging next to my seam. Then we need to turn our cushion cover the right way out, paying particular attention to the corners. I use a special tool to do this, but you could use a knitting needle or any similar pointed object. Now all that's left to do is to iron our cushion cover. So take it over to your ironing mat or ironing board and iron it, paying particular attention to the side seams and the corners. All that's left is to put our cushion inside our cushion cover. It's a bit tricky to get it all in, but get your hands inside and push the cushion corners into the cover corners, and it's all finished.